Hi there, the name's Nico, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get a perfect score, 80,000 points, in the newest pure fiction, Fictitious Wordsmithing. So this new pure fiction is all about follow-up attacks, with a few exceptions here. So as you can see, it's a cumulative amount of damage to deal by allies follow-up attacks. When this damage amount reaches 100%, deal a set amount of damage. The two characters for the fourth stage, which is the one I'm covering here, will be Bronya with the ape as another big boss, and the Malice Staris as another one. You can see all of the enemies are weak to fire. Some of them are weak to ice, some of them weak to wind, some weak to normal. So fire is like a very good pick for this boss. Second half is Sam, the Celeron Hunter, with a lot of enemies, or all enemies being weak to lightning, a lot of them being weak to Imagineering, most of them I think except for just the fish, or sorry, except for the Aventurine Hound, and a lot of them weak to ice as well. Sam himself's weak to quantum, and there's also looks like one wind weakness on the Aventurine Beetle too. So for teams, the first one I'm gonna just highly recommend. If you have Topaz, you're gonna use Topaz first half. As you can see, what I used to get 40k is I just put 4 follow-up attack characters. I used Clara, Himeko, Herta, and Topaz. The thing that's gonna make your life easier to make if you're trying to actually hit 40k instead of just 30k is you're gonna need Clara E1 and you're gonna need Topaz E1. It might be possible with just Topaz E0, or more so Clara E0 because you're not gonna really use Clara's skill. I mean, you're gonna use it a bit, but not as often as a traditional setup because of just the weakness breakdown. But for Topaz E1, you're gonna miss a lot of damage without the E1 aspect, because E1 gives all follow-up attacks 50% crit damage. So when you have 4 characters who do follow-up damage, you can see how you're gonna lose a lot of damage without the E1 aspect. I also have S1 as well, so it is not a completely free-to-play friendly team in that aspect. Mainly the constellations. Himeko's E0. I don't have any any special light clone for her, or same with Herta. For side 1, the one you're gonna want to use is Examination. So Musicality no longer requires accumulated damage from follow-up attacks. Instead, the effect's damage boost is increased by 60% after every time an ally launches 3 follow-up attacks. So basically, you're doing this because after every 3 follow-up attacks you do, you get the Whimsicality, the effect that it drops like a lantern down and does a bunch of damage. Since you're doing so many follow-up attacks, this is going to trigger pretty much every turn, multiple times per turn, pretty much every other character's turn, maybe every 3 character turns. So it's kind of insane in that. The second half, you might be looking at this team, you're like, how did you get 40k with this team on a follow-up attack based one? Well, you see, this is because of this node called Reductio ad Absurdum. So apart from follow-up attacks, all other kinds of damage dealt by allies can also accumulate progress equal to 18% of the original damage dealt. So from what I've seen in my own testing to get it, it seems like about somewhere between 500 and 600,000 damage will trigger the Whimsicality. And if you haven't seen, which I don't know how you wouldn't have seen, Acheron can easily hit that damage in just her ultimate, and so especially if Ruan Mai's field is up, so you're basically just getting this triggered every time Acheron ults. You'll also get it occasionally with the dot amounts too, because dots obviously account for this damage as well. So this team is just basically, I do a lot of damage, so I'm going to trigger the effect of the pure fiction very often. So yes, I do not run any sustain. I guess close to, you can technically count Ruan Mai, sustain, and Clara. Oh yeah, for the first team, by the way, I'll show my stats as well, what I'm running. You most likely also are gonna need Clara's light cone if you're not gonna run a sustain unit, because her light cone gives her self-healing. which is going to prevent her from dying because she's going to be the targeted the most. It might also be RNG. If you end up dying, you may have to restart the run. I got lucky in the first try, the first time I did this, I got a 40k perfect run. So that's why I feel confident that I could do it. But technically, it took me like to the very, very last turn of my turn order to get 80k. Meanwhile, with Acheron, I still had a bunch of turns left. So I was not nearly as concerned with that, ironically. And the main reason why for that is because my Himeko and Herta aren't builds. You guys asked last time for me to go more of a detailed breakdown. It slowed down when I hit my stats. So you can see Clara is okay built, I will say. 4k attack, 70 crit rate, 100 crit damage. She has a bit too much speed, to be honest. That's how the rolls worked. You can see these are the other advanced stats, and she does have a physical damage orb with her personal light comb at superposition 1. Max traces, this is the only character I've actually maxed everything for, and she's on the physical damage set with inert Salsodo. All these characters are on inert Salsodo because they're all doing follow-up damage. Mine, Clara's E2. E1 is the most important one, which is using a skill will not remove the marks of counter on the enemy, because without this one you pretty much have to always basic attack instead of using your skill, which is not ideal. So if you have E1, feel free to use your skill. If you don't, I would pretty much only use your basic attack. And her E2 is after using ultimate, attack increases by 30% for 2 turns. If you have E2 specifically, make sure you use your ultimate after you use your turn, if there's no enemies attacking in between you getting your ultimate and Clara's turn. Otherwise, at the end of her turn, if you use her ultimate before her turn's over, it will count as 1 turn, and the progress of her 2 turns things will be gone immediately. It's really dumb interaction, but I'm just letting you know that. Himeko, she is terribly built at 53% crit rate and a 74% crit damage. And I don't build her for speed with mine. I have attack boots on her. Yeah, she has a 3,000 attack. You can see her speed is plus 23. Actually, wait, maybe I did put speed boots on her. Oh no, because it would be plus 25 if I did. Okay, I don't know exactly. I guess I'll have to look into my own stats. But yeah, she has a fire damage orb on. I don't know why the others have some a boost to them, but she has a fire damage orb on. Light cone is the series for breakfast. This is a free-to-play light cone option you can get in the not Herta store, sorry, in the the Pure Fiction store, the MOC store. So this is a great light cone choice. This is the one I used. The other one is on Herta. I have the other free-to-play option from the Pure Fiction store that just came out with 2.0. And traces are not maxed at all, they're level 8. So you could even get more damage out of the... No, I maxed them. She's currently 2-piece fire, 2-piece the follow-up attack with, again, inert Salsodo. And again, she has no Eidolons. Herta, also very badly built with only 2.2k attack, 136 speed, crit rate 63, crit damage 92. As you can see here, you can see she has, I believe, she may have an ER rope on, I think as it said, and she does have an ice damage orb. This is the other free-to-play option, and this is the one I use here. You could technically switch between Himeko and Herta, the light cone between them. It doesn't really matter. So, because this one works well in Pure Fiction because you're always going to have at least 2 enemies, 99% of the time. At the end of the battle, there will only be 1 left, which is the boss, because you can't kill the boss until all the other ads are destroyed. So, and you can see she is not maxed at all. She still has her traces to be leveled up, and she's on the 4-piece ice set. So, and again, inert Salsodo. What a surprise. And the last is Topaz. Topaz is my best build character in the game because this is the character I actually really wanted, so I made sure I spent a lot of pulls and built her really well. So I just switched off her from attack boots to speed boots because the Topaz community says speed boots is a lot better on her, so I was like, okay, fine.
Sure thing.
So she's 140 speed with almost 9% crit rate, 153 crit damage. Yeah, and she has a fire orb. This is very well built. I have her personal light cone, and she's actually technically not even maxed yet. Like I only maxed her basic attack. Mainly you use her basic attack the most. Well, I'd say probably like half and half, so I should technically max her considering how well I've built her. And again, she is actually on Inner Salsoda, who would have guessed, and also the 4-piece Ash Blazing Grand Duke, because the set was made for her. Okay. And next up I have is Acheron. She's probably my second most built character. Almost 4k attack, 122 speed. This is without speed boots, by the way, and you can see she has 62 crit rate, 169 crit damage. We have a lightning damage boost orb. Technically, an attack orb is better. As I said in my Acheron guide, I just don't have one for her. I did get a personal light cone because there's really no good free-to-play options for her at this time. Almost max traces except for her basic attack, but if you're playing Acheron properly, you will never basic attack, so it doesn't matter. And I'm kind of doing some weird two-piece, mainly because of the substats. Substats are more important than main stats, so ideally you should be on a 4-piece Pioneer Diver. I just don't have a good chest piece for a Pioneer at this time. As well as I'm using Izumo for the rope, which makes sense for Acheron and how her kit works. If you want to know more about Acheron, I'd highly check out my Acheron guide, and I don't have any Eidolons. Kafka, mainly it's just stacking attack and speed. No, she's not even at 134 speed yet. But unfortunate, her crit rate 63, crit damage 67. This is not on purpose for me to get these crit stats, it's just kind of how it rolled. She's not on lightning damage. With Good Night Sweet Well, this is the best it's not free to play because it's gotcha, but only light cone, but best 4-star light cone for her. Traces are all 9s, and her basic attack is 5 of 6. Relics, I'm actually on a 4-piece lightning set. You can also be on the 4-piece deep, no, what is it called? Pioneers of or Prisoner in Deep Confinement. That's actually the more ideal option, but I've just have better pieces for the lightning set for her. And I'm also on Space Sealing Station. You can switch to Glamouthe if you have the speed for her. I just don't actually have the speed, as you saw. And no Eidolons for you. Black Swan. She's at 4,000 attack with 143 speed, crit rate 14, crit damage. I mean, it doesn't matter about that. No ER rope. Effect hit rate could be higher because I don't have an effect hit rate chest on her. So, because I haven't got a good one. And she has no wind damage orb on her. She has an attack orb. That's why her attack's high. I got her personal light cone because her personal light cone gives a 30% damage increase to her damage. It is one of the more broken light cones. I generally only get light cones if they add at least 25% more damage to the character. That's just kind of my personal philosophy, so that's why I got Acherons and Black Swans. I wouldn't have thought about getting Black Swans if I just didn't know this option was just incredibly broken, mainly because of the ignoring target's defense. That definitely does it. And yes, she's not even fully like built level 8 skills, and she has 4-piece Prisoner, which again the Kafka technically should be on, with the 2-piece Glamouthe. Yeah, because she hits one of the speed requirements. She doesn't hit 160, but technically she does with Ruan Mai, and no Eidolons. Last up, Ruan Mai. I am pretty free to play and friendly here for my build. Well, almost fine. Not free to play because the light cone is a gotcha, I believe, but no, she's not. She's easier. That's what I mean. Break effect 170. Crit rate, crit damage, you can see is there, and she doesn't have an increase in damage because she's just here to buff everyone. Memories of the Past is her best 4-star light cone. It's super in position 4. It's best at super in position 3 or above, and she's almost max. I really should get her to max because I'm losing a bunch of damage from this. See, I'm losing 2% increase in damage, as well as 1.3% all type res pen as well, because I don't have it maxed, which is unfortunate. She's on 2-piece speed, 2-piece break effect, with Fleet of the Ages as the other set, mainly because I run her with a Dot team, so Dot only cares about attack increase. They don't care about crit rate, crit damage, so that's why she is running the set instead. And those are all the characters for our team comps. I'll put a timestamp if you don't care about my stats at all, if you wanted to skip ahead. And so yeah, let's get into the fight now. I will move myself back over so you guys can see it. I try so you guys can see the skill counter if you're curious. Then you can see I told you which one to take already. I told you what this does. So obviously the only character that attacks is Clara here. So just throw them all out and then end with Clara.
Risk warning.
It's just not all that. We'll just.
Time to twirl.
Okay, that's fine.
Market is unpredictable. Right. Investing in victory means playing the long game.
I have something for you.
Himeko is going to attack.
You won't get away.
Time to twirl.
Eliminating threat.
You've got a lot of
That's
nerve.
fine. That's less fine.
Perhaps humanity never conceals
We really
its
don't,
desire
because
to
I
control the
really
heavens,
don't.
and
The less
I'm no
times
exception.
the apes attack, the better we're doing.
Time to twirl.
Stay back, Clara.
Do you know this big diamond? It's all yours. Let the valuation begin.
You won't get away.
I
We
want to protect everyone.
can
That's your sword.
alt now.
As you command.
Time to twirl.
Thanks for the heal.
Are you all right?
I'm okay.
Stay back, Clara.
Himeko unfortunately is in a worse spot than normal, but
Oh, nothing. The market is on. Right.
we're gonna focus on killing the apes this time and not worry about Herta.
What are you looking at?
We're gonna hit just you.
You won't get away.
It's fine.
You won't get away.
Time to twirl.
Perhaps humanity never conceals its desire to control the heavens, and I'm no exception.
It's fine. This is actually more ideal if they keep them alive.
I want to protect everyone. That's your sword.
I just need to make sure it doesn't attack Bronya. If this attacks Bronya, I'm screwed.
Are you all right?
Time to twirl.
You won't get away.
Oh, thank goodness. No, we're just gonna. It doesn't matter about him. We're gonna attack you and get your ult up.
Do you know who this big diamond? It's all yours.
There we go.
Easy, Numby. Liquidation.
You won't get away.
Time to twirl.
Time for an overhaul.
Let's see. Unfortunately, it was not on any of them good.
Formation.
Yeah, I mean, of course you're gonna buff this dude. He's gonna kill Himeko. It is what it is.
Honored to meet me.
Okay, we're just gonna, unfortunately, just gonna attack you.
Go Nappy!
Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna attack with you. For damage. Herta doesn't do extra damage to this guy, so we're just gonna basically with her.
Hide.
Honestly, the perfect person to hit. Just all of you, and then there we go. Perfect 40k run. Easy. Did not take me like 6 attempts or
I
something.
wonder what that is.
This is a lot easier. You're actually gonna start with Acheron's, not Kafka's.
Eternal.
Please, can you just attack Ruan Mai? She's at 5k HP. Like, it's makes my life easier. That's what you just focus on. You like double the health of everyone else on the team. Not exactly double, but you know, almost.
Good times. Time to say bye.
I think she's a good. Isn't it good times never last? Where she says.
Grace and elegance.
Stand still.
Every petal.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Free with still waters of oblivion.
Goodbye. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter about you're not stacks.
I weep for the departed.
Okay, I don't want you to take any more energy from me. Get out of here.
It too shall fall.
What do you want to know?
It doesn't matter.
Say bye to breathing.
Get these fish out of here.
Grace and elegance.
Let's just hit the fish.
Relax.
Or so the yellow fish is gonna go off. Oh no, but I think
Another
this.
journey begins, destined for oblivion.
Okay.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
And there we go, 100%. I see 600,000 damage there. So yeah, generally somewhere around that is what we're gonna change characters. That guy's gonna die.
Beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
I generally like attacking multiple of them.
Good times. Time to say bye.
Boom.
Boom.
Mama's got a skill here.
Eternal.
Our healths are actually looking a lot better this time than a lot of the other times. That's fine.
Still waters of oblivion.
I say that and now these guys are all gonna like ruin my health bar because they're only gonna focus Kafka and Acheron, and you know, that's just how it works.
Stand still.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Mind your manners.
There we go, we got our field
All will
on.
be swept away by the wind.
Very nice, very nice.
Relax.
Perfect.
Good times.
Off
Time to
this
say
ult,
bye.
we can break these little small mobs.
Destined for oblivion.
Yeah, our HP is actually fine on all the characters. That's fine.
Execution underway.
Memories beneath the waters lies an
Get
endless
this.
abyss.
That. Kill me, would it not? We don't have an option. Hit alt, hit alt. Go, 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 go.
It too shall fall.
Stand still.
That's awkward. Go, Ruan Mai.
Swept away
He's at
by the
2%.
wind.
Destined.
Hit him.
Some value, I suppose.
Go. I should have skilled. What no. It's good. We're good. We're good. There we go. 80k. Oh my god. Okay, by the way, my run, all of them were alive at the end. Everyone was chilling. I don't, maybe not chilling. They were all like 200 HP, but they were alive, not dead. So, it was not that close. Not that I remembered. Anyways, that was kind of an adventure for me. So yes, I will admit these teams is not, my team's not perfect because again, first half, a lot of RNG with Clara, the apes, Topaz and Numby. Those are the main RNG factors. It also does not help that my Herta and Himeko are not built at all, or not built properly. They should have a better crit rate, crit damage ratio than they do. So if I had a bit better builds on them, I'd also think it would take less time and less RNG related factors. The second half, it's just you make sure you kill the fish before you get too much defense shred on you, or else you will die. That's pretty much what happens. And there's a little bit of RNG in who is targeted because again, we have no healer. You can't run a healer on any of these teams because you won't do enough damage to get 80k. If you don't care about 80k and you're just looking for the 3-star, which is 60k points, then feel free to swap out one side for a healer if you want to play a little bit safer. Obviously you'll get less points for it, but you won't have to keep doing runs over and over again. If you're doing that for Acheron, you're gonna have to take up Ruan Mai for a healer, which is kind of unfortunate because you won't be, every time you won't get the lanterns involved because again, you need that all type res pen to kick in from Ruan Mai's ultimate and her field, which increases everyone's damage dealt. Again, mine's not even max, so it's only up to 20%, I think, instead of 22%. Or no, that's a little type res pen. Right, so I think it's like 28.5. I don't know. I went over it earlier. I'm not getting any full effects as well because my characters aren't fully leveled in traces, which I need to work on. But yeah, so I said, I'll clear admit there's lots of RNG factors. You might have to do it around a couple times if you're looking for a perfect score. If you don't care about perfect score and you want just 3-star, no problem. You can do that with probably just one run, and you can probably get like 35, 39. I even saw like what I got in the tries I did. Well, actually, it wouldn't 16 because I cut it out. But as a lot of them are like between 35 to 40k. So even as long as you get at least 30k in both sides, then you're perfectly fine to get your 3-star target. This is just to demonstrate that these teams are possible for you to get a perfect score on. That's all. Even if you don't have follow-up with characters, like I said, Acheron's team, this Kafka has a follow-up, but it does like 20,000 damage. It's very minimal. It doesn't really matter. So even if you have only one team that can do follow-up attacks, as long as you have another team that can do a lot of damage, maybe if you have a, well, you should do lightning or imaginary. Maybe, but I'm like, maybe you have a good Imagine, or I was gonna say Imagine Dragon, Imbibitor Lunae. I just call him Imagine Dragon. Sorry. If you have a good Imbibitor Lunae team, it'll work fine for second half as long as you have your builds properly. Because again, the guys are weak to imaginary. It's a bit better for Acheron in that case, because in Kafka, because their ults hit all 5 enemies, while Dan Heng and Imbibitor Lunae only hits 3 enemies, so you're going to be leaving a few mobs up to the Lantern Falls, which is probably fine, but it might cause some issues with clear speed. That's all. I mean, again, Dr. Ratio does follow-ups, Jing Yuan does follow-ups as well. I'm just talking about like weakness types that are main. I don't know if you'd be probably there's people out there who run Serval. Mine's not built at all, so, or she's not built at all for me, so maybe it's possible if you'd use the one I told you. Yeah, you definitely just have to make sure that you run the ones I told you about. You have to run examination first half because this team is just all about getting as many follow-up attacks as possible and relying on the whimsicality or whatever. This side is relied exactly on all other types of damage to get the whimsicality because there is no follow-ups other than, again, Kafka's mini follow-up attack. So, but that's it for me for this video. I hope you guys can get 80k points. Again, I know it's a little unfortunate. First half that I did is very reliant on having E1 Clara and E1 Topaz, in my opinion. Second half probably relies more on the fact that I do have Black Swans and Acheron's Lake Cone, which you may not have. Again, I'm not advertising this as like a free-to-play perfect score build at all. This is just how I did it, so maybe I can give you guys some pointers on teams if you're struggling for either side. Hopefully you can get at least 30k on each side so you can get your 3-star, so you can get the Jade for more pulls. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like. I will cover side 3 as well because I also got 40k on that one. This one was a lot easier, and you can see the teams I kind of did for here already. Surprise, it's like nothing different from the first half pretty much, except for I put Dr. Ratio in instead because these guys are imaginary weak. That's about it. Anyways, consider giving a like and enjoy the video, and I hope to see you at the next video or at a different video.